Well, how's it going, YouTube? Just another day in paradise, right? That's what I thought. All right, this is my 2002 Trailblazer that I've had for about 6 months, and that runs great. Got some money into it, and I'm really happy with it. But the only thing that I'm not happy with is my two rear speakers do not work, and I think it's odd that both speakers in the rear doors do not work, although the front work just fine. Now, I picked up this vehicle, like I said, 6 months ago. Radio works great. It's got the CD player in it and everything. It's got the security light blinking here. So you have to really be careful when you go to unhook these radios nowadays. If you don't have the security code when you hook it back up, your radio's not going to work, and it's kind of a big can of worms here that you open up. So I'm not going to pull the radio out. A lot of people go ahead and pull the radio out, and they think there's a problem with the radio, and it turns out it's just bad speakers. The reason that is, a lot of times, in a lot of these vehicles, moisture gets down behind the door. And with cheap speakers they put in vehicles nowadays, they don't waste a lot of money, that's for sure. Moisture gets in there and will short out those speakers, and basically that's all it is. So we're not going to take out the radio. One reason is, right now, is because you got this big piece of trim that goes from here all the way across. You got several screws you got to take out. You got a bunch of connectors to unhook. So I think it's a lot simpler. Just pull the door panel off in the back. I have an extra speaker. We're just going to test this radio and see if it's getting sound back to those rear speakers. Although it's possible both rear speakers did go bad, but I think it's a lot simpler to do the easy steps first. So what we're going to do is go ahead and go back to the back and pull off the panel. All right, in order to pull this panel off, it's pretty simple to do. You do have to have a little screwdriver like this. This has got a magnet on the back. It makes it handy for picking up little bolts and stuff. And you have to have a 7mm little socket. And for my testing purposes, I'm just going to use a regular old speaker here. We're just going to tie into the regular wire to go back to the rear speaker here and see if we have a signal. And that's basically about it. So this door panel is not too bad to take off, although you got to be careful here with this trim piece. You can break it. So first thing we got to do is take our little screwdriver here. Now I've gone ahead and loosened up some things to make the video just a little bit faster, and I'm filming this with my little Samsung camera, and the camera in one hand and tools in the other, so I'll be as steady as possible. So we got to get this little trim piece out here, and once we get that off, we have these little 7mm screws that we have to pop off right here. Loosen them up a little bit. I think I've got them pretty loose, and we'll take our little screwdriver here with a magnet on it. Sometimes it works and sometimes it don't. So there's that one. And we'll get the other one here real quick. Maybe I can just grab it. And we'll get that out of the way. All right, so we got that done. Now we got to go over to this trim piece. The reason you got to use a small screwdriver is because you got these little tabs back here that you have to push down on. And you got to be careful because you can break these. My front door one is broken already, or someone has worked on it. And you push in on them, and this will release this like that. And you can see how that's kind of designed there. Now, once we get all this off, we are ready to go ahead and pop this panel off. But what we have to do, we have to take a little spud bar, a little plastic spud bar, and get behind here and start pulling these clips out of the back of this door panel. And once we do that, we will have access into the back of the door. So I might set the camera down to do that. All right, so I think I got it there, and there is one of my clips that just fell out. This is what you're dealing with. A lot of times you can't get them out without breaking them, especially the bigger ones. I think we're ready to lift this up out of here. There we go. All right, we got this off. Now what you have to do is don't pull it off quite yet. There's a wire right there in the back of that window. We have the window switch. We have to go ahead and disconnect. All right, I think we got it. Not a lot of room back here. There we go. And there it is. Okay, there it is. Also, on this model, I forgot, you can just pop this straight out, the whole thing, and pull the wire out. You don't have to actually disconnect the wire behind the panel. You can actually pop this off here, take a little screwdriver and pop this up, and this will come out. Then you can pull the wire out of the back of it. And as you can see, it kind of sits in there just like this. Sometimes it's a little easier that way. Okay, so we are down to our speaker, and we'll go ahead and take this insulation off. Looks like someone's been in here working on this before, because a lot of things are loose. Now you can take the speaker off two ways. You can take these 3 bolts here out, these 7mm bolts, or you can take these little screws out here, and this is what we're going to do. We're going to take these little screws out, and you'll have to have a set of these guys right here. And I know on Fords you just take out the bolts, but sometimes on Chevys and Dodges they actually have the speakers bolted in. And this is a T15, so we got to take all 4 of these little screws out to hold the speaker in. It'll be a lot easier this way, just to take these out instead of taking this whole piece off. But like I said, it's up to you, whatever you want to do. And we got 2 more to take out. Then we'll test the speaker and see if it's bad. Well, we won't be testing this speaker. We'll hook the other speaker up in it and see if we have sound back here. I don't have a way to test the speaker, but I'll set up something later for that. And now we just pull the speaker off. I'll have to put my camera down. All right, there we go. And there's some glue in there that's holding that speaker, so you may have to pry on it a little bit, and out it comes. And let me tell you what, this is a cheap speaker, and I see problems already. Look at the rust. More than likely the speaker is probably done, so let's go ahead and disconnect it here. And also I noticed that it looks like it's torn a little bit. All right, let's go ahead and get this out of here. All right, there we go. And I'll tell you what, they don't make them any cheaper than that. Wow, this thing weighs about 5 ounces. And there is our plug. All right, so we'll go ahead and set the other speaker up here somehow and run that wire in that plug and see if we have sound. Okay, I have the speaker here on rear. And let's go back here and see if we have sound now. And guess what I hear? I hear sound. President Trump has launched the Pentagon's new space, and I got my wires just kind of tied in there, so I know that speaker is bad, and I'm not even going to bother tearing that panel off over there. If this speaker is bad, then more than likely that speaker is bad. And that is how you check your speakers to make sure that they are bad before you go taking out your radio. So this is certainly some good news. I'll just go online and order some speakers. But before you go ordering factory speakers, if you want to put regular factory speakers back in your car, back your Trailblazer, that's fine. Let me go ahead and shut this off real quick. But it is working.
Being exploited in this way by people.
You can buy an aftermarket ring kit to put in here, and you can put some regular 6x9 speakers. Well, I don't think it's 6x9. It's just a round speaker that you can put in here. You can put those on in here if you don't want to deal with a factory speaker, but it's up to you. Let me show you that real quick on eBay. And as we go to eBay here, if I go to my watch list, you can see right here, you can buy these front or rear door speaker mounts aftermarket, where you can put in some speakers of your own desire. So that's really nice to have. And these are only $14. So if you want to put some high quality speakers in your vehicle, you can do that. But if you want to buy OEM, it's whatever you want to do. But I've done this before in other vehicles, and it does make it pretty nice. All right, everyone, so mystery is solved. So all I have to do is put my door panels back on and button it up and go ahead and figure out what I want to do with speakers. If I can't find these fairly cheap, then I'll probably go ahead and just put in some aftermarket speakers in the back, and it probably will sound even better. So aren't you glad you didn't go ripping out your radio only to find out you just have a couple bad speakers? I see this so many times in vehicles nowadays. Like I said, they just don't put good quality speakers in your doors anymore. They get a little rust on them, moisture, and they just quit working. Boom, and your speakers are done. So other than that, thanks for watching, guys. Until my next video, I'll see you then. Have a good one.